Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, May 24th. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Sonia Srivastava. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Well, problems on Metro's Red Line slowed the rush hour commute for many this morning. Arching insulator and power cable problems at several stations prompted single tracking delays from Bethesda all the way to the district.
This as a congressional subcommittee held a hearing on WMATA safety and reliability. Rochelle Mesker joins us now with more on what happened during that hearing.
Yeah, all too common, huh?
Definitely. Sonia, Denise, Metro officials and members agree that while shutting down entire lines of the rail system for maintenance undermines the predictability and the reliability of train schedules, so do problems like the ones that happened on the Red Line this morning. So fixing the system is critical. Maryland Representatives Steny Hoyer and John Delaney were among those who testified at today's House Transportation and Infrastructure Subcommittee hearing on Capitol Hill. Delaney called for changes in governance, pointing out that currently there are no standards for those who sit on Metro's 16-member board. He suggests requiring appointees to have expertise in either finance, transit, safety, or management. Hoyer testified that he's disappointed in the need for a safe track plan, but called on Congress to support investments so that it can be implemented quickly and correctly.
In some ways, these problems are the result of past failures to invest adequately in long-term maintenance and upgrades. As the new 7000 series cars are brought into the fleet, we need to make sure that the tracks and tunnels that these new modern cars run on are up to date as well. I hope the subcommittee and the full committee will support investments in Metro's safety and service so that Safe Track Plan will be as successful as possible, as quickly as possible. Congress has a responsibility to make sure that the Metro system, which we call America's subway, can well serve those and serve American citizens as well.
There was some debate over whether the transit agency's problems are funding or management issues. General Manager Paul Wiedefeld told committee members that employee training is underway, but says the biggest need is for sustainable financing. Metro is the only major public transit system in the country without a dedicated funding source. Now, Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton also made a point to say that Metro never changed its culture from one of building a system to one of safely maintaining a system. And to that, General Manager Wiedefeld said that he is working on changing the culture. He is meeting with employees at every level. He's even gone so far as to fire 20 managers, which he did last week, although he said that's a last resort. He doesn't take pleasure in that, but if that's what it takes, that's what he'll do. And it's a process, but it's one that is underway. It'll just take a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a story that I'm sure we're going to be talking about for a long time here in the D.C. area. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you very much. An alleged rape and violent robbery are just some of the recent incidents that have happened throughout the Metro system as transit crime continues to rise. According to officials, a woman was sexually assaulted on the Red Line on April 12th, but the Washington Metro Transit Authority did not publicize it until this week. Latifah Majid has more.
Well, according to WMATA, crime is up more than 10% in the Metro system. And this is actually a police report that I have from the Metro Police. And as you can see, it's pretty thick. It has all of the incidents that have happened within the past couple of months. And a lot of these incidents are reoccurring. You have a lot of destruction of property, vending violation, alcohol violation, drunk in public, as well as warrant arrest. And some of the most recent incidents that have happened was a robbery that happened on the Green Line, as well as an alleged rape that happened on the Red Line. However, Metro did not release that information until this week, although that incident happened last month. And that's why a lot of riders are saying that they are just simply fed up with the system and they don't feel safe because that information should have been released as soon as it happened. Here's what some of them had to say.
I think Metro should have posted it on the internet. I think it should be posted in every Metro station of this violence. So that women can protect themselves or at least be armed to protect themselves or informed in some way. I'd like to know what Metro's going to do about it to ensure safety in the future. And I hope Metro's going to do something about it to make sure that they inform people the day it happens.
I mean, I don't necessarily feel safe, but I don't have an option. If I have to get around, I have to get around. So,
are there any changes that you feel like Metro should make?
I mean, yeah, but they probably won't be made because people act crazy all the time on the metro system. So,
Have you had any issues, or are you ever nervous when you're riding it?
I mean, people get on the bus and act a fool, like, just act a fool at the station, like getting their hands stuck in the bus on purpose and just acting a mess on the bus, but nothing changes.
Now, Metro General Manager says that they are working to increase the police presence throughout the metro stations, so hopefully the crime rate will go down. In Capitol Heights, I'm Latifa Majid, CTV News.
Thank you for that, Latifa. And Metro's general manager also says that they did not publicize the alleged rape incident right away because they solved the crime within hours after it happened.
Along with speeding and impaired and distracted driving, not wearing a seatbelt is among the most common causes of roadway deaths in Maryland. Today, the state kicks off its participation in the national Click It or Ticket campaign with a dramatic car simulation. Our Janine Samuels is at Martin State Airport with more.
This T-bone crash demonstration, with the car moving at only 35 miles per hour, shows the devastating consequences of not wearing a seatbelt. In Maryland, 36% of all people who died in traffic crashes were unbelted.
Wearing seatbelt and seatbelt use can make the difference between walking away from a crash and possibly never walking again. More than 120 drivers and passengers are killed every year in Maryland.
And according to medical authorities, of these deaths, roughly half would be alive today if they buckled up. The focus of this year's Click It or Ticket campaign is to buckle up in every seat, every time, day or night. And as you can see from this simple demonstration, the passenger in the back was tossed around. So putting on that seatbelt could not only save you from a ticket, but it could also save your life.
Well, we are finding that an unusually high percentage of passengers in cars in the back seat are unbuckled. And so the message has got to get out that an unbuckled passenger in the back seat is a projectile that can severely injure or kill front seat passengers, even if they're belted.
This was the case with this mother's 17-year-old son and 3 friends, all who lost their lives in a car accident, all who did not click their seatbelt.
There is no way to tell you what it feels like to have to read your child's autopsy report. The report documented that my 6-foot, 1-inch son only measured 5'7" after the crash. Because he and Harrison were not wearing seatbelts, Tyler suffered several skull fractures and a complete obliteration of his spinal canal.
This mom urges everyone to make the choice to buckle up, even in the back seat. In Middle River, I'm Janine Samuels for CTV News.
Thank you, Janine. And as a reminder, buckling up in every seat, is a law in Maryland. Anyone who is not wearing a seatbelt could receive a $83 ticket. Meantime, changing gears a little bit, Maryland has a new school superintendent. Karen Selman, who served as an interim deputy superintendent, will take on the new role. She spent more than 30 years as an educator on the Eastern Shore. Now she will assume her new position on July the 1st.